To maximize your viewing experience, we recommend that you use Speaker View. And finally, be sure to tweet your thoughts and follow the conversation on social channels using hashtag Black Women Impact, hashtag Walker's Legacy. Here is an overview of what we will cover in today's session. Program, meditation session. Welcome remarks by Eris T. Scales, Walker's Legacy Foundation CEO. Remarks from Joe Taka Edie, founder and CEO of Full Circle Strategies. Goldman Sachs OMBW Overview, Mental Wellness Awareness with Dr. Ivy Hilton. Listening session, comments and feedback. Closing remarks by Eris T. Scales, Walker's Legacy Foundation CEO. Closing meditation, and a thank you for joining. To get us started, please welcome Dr. Ivy Hilton, a holistic psychotherapist and a woman of many other healing talents, who will lead us in a meditation.
Thank you very much, and welcome to the Sound Spa. Today, I'm going to be introducing to you a concept that I call sound vibronics. It is the new medicine for the 21st century, a vibrational healing and mindfulness methodology using crystal sound frequencies designed to synchronize brain waves. And while it's doing that, is activating a de-stress response in the body, a new way of creating neural pathways for increased emotional and cognitive capacity. This is the passageway into emotional wellness. We know that the key to positive mental health is a relaxed amygdala and a calm adrenal system. And the crystal frequencies of the Sound Spa experience awakens that energy and opens to manifestation for emotional wellness and optimal health. So I invite you to just allow yourself to relax as we begin to open ourselves up to this wonderful, powerful information, and find a very comfortable space where you can sit with your back straight up, or you can sit on the floor with your legs crossed. And if you are in a private space, you can even lay down on the floor for this sonic meditation. I encourage you to sit with your palms facing upward with your hands resting on your lap, and just begin to breathe deeply. Taking a moment to look around and making sure that nothing is in the way of your comfort. Just take a deep breath in, filling your lungs with air, and exhale. And as you exhale, begin to allow your body to go deeper into relaxation. Take another deep breath in and exhale. Deep breath in and exhale. And allow your body to go even deeper into relaxation. Allow the crystal vibrations to penetrate each and every cell of your body as you take a deep breath in through the nose and exhale through the mouth, letting go, letting go, letting go. Going deeper and deeper into relaxation, deeper and deeper into surrender. Continue to allow your body to relax as you breathe deeply in and exhale. All stress, all tension, all anxiety are gone. Deep breath in and feel the coolness of the air as it goes through your nose and through your throat and into your lungs, and feel the freshness of the air as it fills your being. Deep breath in, deep breath out. All worries, all stress, all anxiety are gone. And as you breathe, tell yourself, I am pure light. And my body is as light as a feather. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And now, I invite you to bring your awareness to the center of your forehead. And right there, allow an image of you to appear. Happy, smiling, and totally content with yourself. No stress, no worries are pulling you down. I feel light, fresh, free and pure as I allow my body to go deeper into relaxation. Letting go, letting go, letting go. Going deeper and deeper into relaxation. Deeper and deeper into surrender. And now, bring your awareness to the center of your heart, located in the center of your chest. And right there, take a deep breath in to the center of your heart. And exhale. All stress, all tension, all anxiety in the heart are gone. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in, notice your chest expanding, filled with air. And imagine a green, glowing sphere of energy floating right in the center of your heart. that energy to begin to expand. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Following that light as it expands beyond your body, and allow that green light to fill the room. And go beyond the room out into the universe. And there you are, floating, light as a feather. Breathe in that light into each and every cell of your body as it pours compassion, love, acceptance, warmth into your being. And allow that energy to penetrate each and every cell of your body. And now feel the sound vibrations as they infuse with your heart and mind, creating inner peace and emotional balance. Deep breath in, deep breath out, bringing yourself gently back into the space, moving your fingers and your toes, and gently begin to open the eyes. Namaste.
Thank you for centering us, Dr. Hilton. What a soothing way to set the tone for today's conversation on mental health and wellness. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Eris Scales, CEO of Walker's Legacy Foundation, to ground us in why we are here today.
Thank you so very much. Oh my goodness. Let me say this. I didn't want to go too deep, Dr. Hilton, because I knew I had remarks to give and you were taking me somewhere like in a very, very relaxed space. So that was phenomenal. I bet you ladies didn't know you were going to get that experience today. But it's so important as we start this conversation to not just talk about what we want to address by way of investing in our emotional and social and mental well-being, but to also be able to feel and experience it. So again, I am Eris Scales, and I'm thrilled to be able to welcome you here this afternoon. It is exciting to be sharing this space with you all, and for Walker's Legacy to serve as an official community partner on the Goldman Sachs 1 Million Black Women Initiative. I would also add that it wasn't intentional, but it's actually perfect timing that we're gathering today. I'm not sure if you all are aware, but it's actually National Self-Care Awareness Month. So this is a great time to be having this conversation and to be providing this feedback, not just to Walker's Legacy, but to Goldman Sachs. For those of you who aren't familiar, I just want to level set a bit about who Walker's Legacy Foundation is. We are the nonprofit arm of Walker's Legacy LLC, which is a digital media platform established to inspire, engage, and equip women of color, particularly Black women, along their entrepreneurial and professional journey. For the foundation and the LLC, we were inspired by the philanthropic legacy and the entrepreneurial impact of Madam C.J. Walker. She is this country's first self-made female millionaire, and she definitely made it a priority of hers to make sure that she was lifting other women as she climbed. So our mission at Walker's Legacy Foundation is to provide a solid base of entrepreneurial, financial, and professional support to improve the economic equality and the entrepreneurial prosperity of multicultural women. And really, we are just here, simply put, to create the next generation of Madam C.J. Walkers. We believe wholeheartedly that entrepreneurship is a surefire strategy to close racial and gender inequalities in this country and globally. And we know that with the COVID-19 pandemic continuing to affect and impact all of us, it's more important now than ever that we're creating pathways that empower women to be resilient in the face of the personal and professional stress of this current moment. We know that women far too often are finding themselves at a disadvantage economically. And we know that for women to find that prosperity, that they have to first and foremost be in a place of mental and emotional prosperity. And I must say that this has literally been a walk and a talk that I've been putting into practice over the last year and a half. And I must say that the personal rewards have been unmeasurable. Also, I've been hearing many personal stories, right, from women who have shared firsthand, Black women especially, how this pandemic has magnified already pre-existing conditions that continue to work against us. We saw more women being forced out of the workforce, but we also saw more women opting to take out and remove themselves from toxic work environments and placing their emotional well-being, their self-care, and their self-worth first. In fact, our COVID-19 impact study, which we just released in June, thanks to the great support of the Gates Foundation, found that more than 75% of the women who responded, they felt that the pandemic was having a negative impact on their mental health. And 90% shared that they were afraid that their businesses would be closed by the end of the year. And at Walker's Legacy, we say not on our watch. Women are experiencing record levels of burnout, particularly Black women, and there's an urgent need for healing, there's an urgent need for rest, and there's an urgent need for replenishment. So ladies, that's exactly why we're here today. This session is all about nourishing your physical, your spiritual, and your emotional well-being. It's also about providing a unique, and I mean a very unique opportunity for you to share with us, as well as Goldman, what your priorities are, what your challenges are, and what solutions you think that we could be advancing with regards to impacting mental wellness, health, and the self-care of Black women. Before we go any further, I did want to highlight that we will be joined today by Joteka Edie, who is the founder and CEO of of Full Circle Strategies in partnership with Value Partners, as well as Tolu Princewell, who is the Vice President with the Americas Engineering Technology Risk Division, and Nina Myers, Associate in Goldman Sachs Growth Equity Investing Team. All of which are here to hear directly from you and at your leisure for you to share what you are thinking and what you are recommending. As creators of the historic 1 Million Black Women Initiative, Goldman is walking the talk, walking the walk, and when it comes to holistically seeking ways to support Black women's entrepreneurship, economic empowerment, and mental well-being. So ladies, we have this opportunity, it's historic, for us to design investment strategies for us that's informed by us. So your participation today is literally shaping history and will help steer funding and priorities going forward for more than 1 million Black women. So together, we are ready to hear your voices and to take action that supports your needs. Without further ado, let's get to it.
Well, good evening, everyone. And Eris, it is always an honor to be in the same presence with you and the amazing women of Walker's Legacy. It's such an honor to partner with you and to be a part of this very important conversation. My name is Joteka Edie, and I am the founder and CEO of Full Circle Strategies, and I work in partnership with Values Partnerships. And we have the distinct honor of working every single day with the team at Goldman Sachs, focused on ensuring that we impact the lives of 1 million Black women through the 1 Million Black Women Initiative. You know, just a few short months ago, I'm sure you all were a part of, and you heard and you helped us announce a historic investment in Black women, an investment of $10 billion over 10 years to impact the lives of 1 million Black women. And that's 10 billion with a B. And I know you may be asking, well, what does that mean? How does it work? And I know each and every one of you is busy leading entrepreneurs have had what we know is a challenge that Black women face. That is access to capital. That is actually being discovered, not necessarily by those that know and believe the value that you bring to society every single day, but those that have access to capital that will help you grow and scale your businesses in ways that you know you can. So this initiative is going to disrupt some of those challenges. One of the exciting parts of this initiative is that the team at Goldman Sachs conducted research, and we encourage you to go to the website, www.goldmansachs.com, and review an exciting report called Black Womanomics. And we all know the statistics. We all know that we are the most educated demographic in this country, that we launch and start business at a faster rate than any other demographic in this country, that we also have success in our businesses. But we also know that we face many, many challenges. We have high amounts of student debt. We have barriers to access to capital. And even when it comes to our own health, we face challenges, whether it's in our maternal health or access to just being seen, heard, and felt in healthcare. Our goal with this initiative is to use and to take capital, $10 billion of capital, and fund it into projects and investments that will actually touch the holistic nature of a Black woman's life. Also, what's equally as important to this initiative is ensuring that we center Black women, that Black women will be a part of not only the conversation, but will lead this initiative. And we're so honored to have so many Black women leading this initiative inside of Goldman Sachs and our allies inside of Goldman Sachs that have come together around this mission of ensuring that we invest in Black women. Equally as important is that we listen to Black women, and that is what today is all about. We want to hear from you. What are the challenges that you face in your day-to-day as it relates to your ability to lead and grow your businesses, but also how are you facing challenges just as a Black woman entrepreneur, particularly as it relates to our mental and our physical health? What barriers are there? But also, most importantly, how can investment and capital investment, I know you all know about capital investment, but how can capital investment disrupt those challenges? Today, I could go on and on talking about this great program, but I could actually show you much better than I could tell you. And I am so honored to share with you this exciting new video that we launched with, and it was directed by Reggie Hudlin, the award-winning director. Following that, you will have the opportunity to meet and hear directly from bold, dynamic leaders inside of Goldman Sachs that are at the helm of this initiative, Tulu Princewell and Nina Myers. Thank you so much.
So I often tell this story about my mother. When she came off the midnight shift, because she worked in a paper factory, she took her clothes off outside because they smelled so bad. And she would come in, she would whisper in our ear, "All things are possible. You can do anything." Now, I would guarantee you my mother did not know what subliminal messaging was, but she knew what positive thinking was.
Black women are the key. They're exhausted. They're holding up the world.
Let's be candid about this. Black women are central to the Black community. They're heads of households. They're our mothers. They are our daughters, our grandmothers, our nieces, our wives, our partners, our lovers.
There is no task more important. There is no community more innovative. There is nothing more transformational or more needed at this critical moment in our country's history.
There's a real need for job creation, not for handouts, but for hand-ups. We are not going to advance racial equity and see the progress that we want to see if we don't focus on Black women.
We looked at what are the causes, what are the sources? Is it education? Is it healthcare? Is it just jobs and making the economy better and giving them more economic opportunity? Tell me the one thing. Well, mic drop. It's not one thing.
It is just common sense to invest in our mothers, daughters, sisters, and friends, empowering the women who have invested so much in us. And that's why Goldman Sachs is partnering with organizations led by Black women, listening, learning, and making the largest ever capital commitment, $10 billion, to fuel the futures of 1 million Black women and their families. $10 billion that will be invested in ideas, organizations, and institutions that impact Black women, starting at birth and at every key moment in her life. Access to prenatal care, early childhood education, broadband critical to closing the homework gap, and loans to enable high-achieving students to attend top colleges of their choice. And later, as these women move into the next phase of their lives, access to capital for their own small businesses, to have quality preventative health care, and ways to save for their children's future and their own retirement.
The more that we can empower these important community anchors that Black women are, the more that we're going to have progress together and as a whole.
You know, it's audacious, right? 1 million Black women, that's audacious.
If you can give people an opportunity and give them the kind of support that they need, perhaps the kind of mentorship that they would otherwise not get, they're going to do great things.
Invest in Black women.
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 Absolutely. We must always ensure that we invest in Black women. I don't know about you, but I get chills every time I see that video and I hear those powerful words, invest in Black women. It's now my honor to introduce to you two blazing trailblazers at Goldman Sachs that are leading on this initiative. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Tulu and Nina.
Thank you, Joteka. Hi, everyone. I am Tolu Princewell. I'm a vice president based in Dallas in our engineering division. I am an attorney by trade and joined the firm in 2019 to really help the firm with their cybersecurity policy. And so some people look at me and say, are you really an engineer? I call myself a solutions architect because I don't have the formal engineering background, but the role is still very relevant in securing the firm's information security posture in today's environment. I want to say on behalf of the 1 Million Black Women team at Goldman Sachs, we really appreciate the honor. We are so excited to be here and speak to Walker's legacy about the great things we're doing with this initiative. And we really do appreciate your partnership in this initiative. As Joteka said, 1 Million Black Women really is the largest investment ever really focused on narrowing the opportunity gap for Black women at each and every stage of their life, all the way from the beginning stages of early childhood through retirement and everything in between. We really launched this partnership with Black women-led organizations like Walker's Legacy, and we are committing $10 billion with the B in investment capital, $100 million in philanthropic capital, really with the goal of impacting at least 1 million Black women's lives over the next 10 years. While these investment dollars are coming from us, we do want to caution this is not the Oprah effect where you get a check, you get a check, and you get a check. There is a formal process in place with this initiative that is designed and implemented in partnership with Black women organizations across the country to ensure we're reaching the right groups. We want to be informed by Black women. We want to be reflective of Black women and responsive to the viewpoints specifically tailored to Black women. Both within and outside the company, we recognize, as the video shows, that Black women are at the center of this initiative, from its design to its implementation. And we really want to impact specifically Black women. We are committed, as we are here today, to listen to you, to learn from you, to see areas where we need to target our investment at every stage of life. And we recognize that listening to you today is critical to making sure we get this right. These solutions will be built upon and informed by you and Black women like you and our allies to make sure we're doing the right work in our community. And so today I really do look forward to your thoughts, your ideas, your critiques, your feedback on how we can really make 1 million Black women better and very specific to your needs. We really are focused with narrowing the opportunity gaps, both in mental health, specifically for Black women. And so our investment strategy continues to focus on narrowing these gaps from birth to school, from career to retirement, from home ownership, and every other stage of life in between. And so again, I express my gratitude for being here, having the opportunity to listen to you. And I'll now invite my colleague, Nina, to share a bit more. Nina, to you.
Thank you, Tolu, and thank you everybody who came before us to just give really a great introduction and a great setup. Also, shout out to Dr. Ivy. I think it goes without saying again, but that really just helped center me and set really the tone for the goal and the broader mission of why we are all here, is to create spaces and to create broader environments where Black women feel that they can really tap into that safe space in their own bodies, and like that. I really appreciate that. So really just continuing, brief introduction on myself. My name is Nina Myers. I've been at Goldman Sachs for 3 years full-time, and also did 2 internships. So have seen, a broad base of the firm. As was mentioned earlier, I'm on the growth equity investing team. So really, at a crossroads of where investment dollars are coming from in the firm, and having really interesting conversations about how to focus the pipeline on Black women-centered businesses, owned businesses, and businesses that clientele specifically are Black women. The investment strategy has been poured over again and again, but I think we should really hammer home that we know Black women are foundational to our families, to our communities. And I really encourage everyone to read the research report that was highlighted earlier. My first role at Goldman was in the equity research division, so I do have a very soft spot for the report that was written. It's extremely detailed and highlights the significant disadvantages that we all know Black women face across all sectors of society, and really helps quantify and estimate the impact that can be had on an economic scale if we can narrow these opportunity gaps from, healthcare to education to home ownership, as Tolu highlighted earlier. So I think it really puts in perspective not just the personal impact it can have on Black women, but the economic impact on a dollar basis that it can have, not just in the US, but globally. And that's really why we're here today. I would be remiss as an investor to not really focus in on some of the announced investments and grants that we had in some of our inaugural meetings. And just to give everybody a sense of the breadth and the depth of the types of investments that we're trying to make. They include an investment in Collab Capital, which is a Black woman-led venture capital firm based out of Atlanta, so non-traditional in a lot of ways. And the thesis for that VC fund is really to focus on supporting Black and minority-led companies. We initiated a loan to Block Power to expand broadband services for Black women and families in low-income neighborhoods. A grant to Springboard to Opportunities Magnolia Mothers Trust Program, which provides monthly cash payments to Black mothers in the Deep South. And I could go on. There's a laundry list of really fun and amazing opportunities that have already been impacted by Goldman Sachs, and our amazing advisory council is reflective of the broad span of Black women that have been a part of these decision-making processes in a very short amount of time. So, using these listening sessions is really to help inform the next steps that we can make and make this list longer, and just continue the process of making really specific and really impactful changes, so that when we look down the road in 10 years, we don't just say that, we spent the $10 billion, but we spent the $10 billion in the exact neighborhoods with the exact women that go into their communities and make the impact that we know they can make. In my role, I focus mostly on healthcare and consumer investing. So mental health is actually a theme that we are very focused on, and have looked at tech-enabled and digitally enabled platforms that specifically tailor to mental health. And I take a personal interest in mental health plus women of color or people of color, because I know how much that is a social determinant of health in our communities, especially in our, our urban and more low income areas. So really excited to have this discussion and, lay it all on us. Nothing is off limits. We can take all the information you have and distill it and really use it in a really advantageous way. So thank you to Walker's Legacy Foundation. Thank you to everybody on the phone. It's really great to be here.
And now for our first poll question. I feel comfortable acknowledging and talking about my mental health and well-being. Please submit answers in the poll. Thank you all for your participation. And now, Dr. Hilton will guide us in a mental wellness awareness overview. Dr. Hilton.
Thank you so much. First of all, I just want to thank my two sisters that just brought it very strongly to us about where Black women are. Invest in Black women. And that is so powerful. And I cannot tell you how honored I am and how blessed I am to be able to be in this place to have this conversation. This is something I wanted to share with everyone that I've been a holistic psychotherapist now for almost 40 years. And I have literally seen thousands of Black women in my private practice that have had challenges in their lives, that have done everything that that video shared with us. We are the backbone of our families. We're the backbone of our communities. And in many cases, we are the backbone where it is that we work. And people depend on us. But we have to invest in ourselves as well and really understand that mental health includes our entire emotional self, our psychological self, our social well-being, and how it affects how we think, how we feel, how we act, how we interrelate with others, and how we build relationship. It also helps us to determine how we handle stress and relate to others, and make more healthy choices when we're in charge of our mental health. Mental health is so important at every stage of our lives, from childhood to adolescence, and even in adulthood. And in adulthood, I can tell you that we have a challenge to break through the resistance to seek mental health care, because we need to be able to empower our thoughts, empower our minds to calm out the stress out of our lives, because stress is going to happen. We just need to be able to navigate it and understand how to tune into the frequencies of healing. And this is why self-care is so critical and so important. Taking the time to do things that help us live well, to improve our health, our physical health, our mental health, our spiritual health. And to really demonstrate that today, I wanted to be able to include you in the activity of self-care, the self-care plan. And according to science, if we take 15 minutes of deep meditation, and I'm encouraging the sonic meditation with the crystal frequencies, because that creates instant manifest. We have 15 minutes of this peace, this quiet, this silence, this intentional direction of our thoughts, that we can reset the sodium in our brains and create a balance, so that every day we're not carrying that stress from day to day to day that impacts our autonomic nervous system, and that eventually can cause what is now known as chronic adrenal fatigue. And that is something that in our medical world, we are not really getting treatment for. So I want to encourage you to find ways of finding that self-care plan that is going to bring the balance to your central nervous system, to the parasympathetic nervous system, and soothe and calm the adrenal glands. So I want to invite you into practicing this self-care plan. It starts with to relax your body. So just sit back wherever you are, feet flat on the floor, your body straight up, and begin to allow your body to relax, starting with your shoulders. Then we're going to do deep breathing. We're going to drop our shoulders, close our eyes, and then calm our minds simply with our thoughts. So let's begin by relaxing your body, allowing the shoulders to droop down, 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 deeper and deeper into relaxation. Bring that relaxation into the back of the sockets of your eyes on the left and the right, and then gently close your eyes, allowing the muscles in the back of your neck to let go. Taking a deep breath in through the nose, filling your lungs with air, and then exhale slowly as if you were blowing into a straw. There's nowhere to go, nothing to do, nowhere to be, but just with you and your inner thoughts, your inner vision of your subconscious mind, building the capacity for inner strength by allowing your body to simply relax. Relax your lower abdomen, let go. Allow that relaxation to flow down your hips, into your thighs, down your knees, into your calves, into your feet, into the toes. Just twinkle your toes just a little bit. And just allow that relaxation to begin to flow. Noticing that when you begin to tense, the first part of this plan is to relax your body. And then take deep breaths. Deep breath in. Deep breath. Survive. Deep breath out. And I am. Just take deep breaths. Deep breath in. My thoughts. Deep breath out. My prayers, my actions in my inner world. And now, drop your shoulders down, down, down to relaxation. And now I invite you to bring your awareness to the center of your forehead and just become a witness of your thoughts. And I am free. Just let the thoughts flow as if you were watching them on a movie screen, letting them go one by one. resisting the urge to dig deep into any one of those thoughts. Something I forgot to do, something that I've got to do, something that someone said, something that I've got to say. Let it go, let it go, let it go. And just watch those thoughts flow one by one and experience the deep peace. Deep peace dwells within me. Just bask in the silence. Deep peace in your own mind lives inside of me. Calm your mind. Release the thoughts. Letting go, letting go, letting go. Going deeper and deeper into relaxation. Calming your mind of thoughts and experiencing the true healing is in the silence. Namaste.
Silence is life's most sacred melody. Now that we've heard from our speakers, we want to hear from you. This is your chance to share with us what we need to consider when making funding decisions or donations related to mental wellness, health, and self-care. What would you suggest Goldman fund in relation to wellness, to mental wellness? Please submit your answers in the chat. You will have a few minutes to submit your answers. Thank you all for your submissions. Now we are going into the listening session. First, we'd like to begin with Linnell Plummer.
Good afternoon, everyone. Indeed, I am Dr. Linnell Plummer, the CEO of Onyx Therapy Group. We are a mental health company headquartered in Washington, D.C., with 9 offices in 4 states, with a primary focus on providing mental health and mental wellness to our Black community, specifically Black women, and then to members of the LGBTQ community. I'm super excited to be here and to be able to offer some potential tips for mental health and mental wellness. Understanding that in my clinical work, there is a major difference between mental health and mental wellness, meaning that mental health has to do with how you care specifically for your mind and your processes, similar to when you go to the doctor to check in on your physical health, where mental wellness is more of a comprehensive and collective perspective around how you take care of yourself, again, comprehensively, with mental health being the center. So understanding that there is a difference between the two, although we sometimes use them interchangeably. And understanding that there's a difference between the two, it means that there's action steps and responses that we can do to address both our mental health and our mental wellness. And so while today we're going to specifically talk about our mental wellness, I want to also highlight the importance of mental health, specifically in therapy. So while I bring forward these tips specifically around mental wellness, it is important that you seek therapy. Therapy for check-ins, similar to when you go to the doctor just for a physical checkup, or to address more specific things like traumas related to physical loss, traumas related to loss of relationships like breakups, traumas related to job losses, and traumas also related to a loss of a dream, when you've set yourself up for a particular dream and subsequently was not able to achieve that for various reasons. So make sure you're seeking out therapy, and there's tons of therapy resources, of course, Onyx Therapy Group, but I'm also a strong proponent of therapy for Black girls that was started by Dr. Joy Bradford, and all the therapists on there specialize in working with Black women such as you and me. So in terms of looking at a couple of tips that we can use when we're thinking about self-care and wellness, because like Ms. Scales mentioned, this is Self-Care Month, I want to first start off with the idea and the fact around boundaries. Recognizing that boundaries, we're using that term a lot, it's trending, but recognizing that boundaries are really about a matter of protecting yourself, not protecting other people. Similar to when we have fences around our house, it's to protect us. And so our boundaries are set to protect us. They're to protect us from other people and their energy, to protect us from sometimes even ourselves, protecting us from burnout, and to also ensuring that we're resting and replenishing ourselves. So what I like to highlight here is that no one will respect your boundaries if you don't respect your own boundaries. So if you say, this is my day for rest, and then somebody asks you to do something and you do it, you've automatically taught them that they don't need to respect your boundaries because you haven't respected your own boundaries. So sit with yourself, think about where your boundaries are, where you want them to be so that you can rest, so that you can replenish, so that you can feel whole, and then make that clear to everyone around you. These are my boundaries, and I will respect them, and I need you to respect them as well. Another thing that we really want to highlight is routines. So I know that a lot of us are free-flowing people, that we like spontaneity, all those things. I'm a Virgo, so I'm a little bit more structured, but I recognize that we like the free flow element of air and water and all of those things. However, we understand, especially from a mental health perspective, that safety is also rooted in structure and predictability. So when you can predict that something is going to happen, ideally through structure, then you feel safer, physically safer, emotionally safer, spiritually safer. And you could think about all different types of examples of how that may show up in your particular life, but really focusing on the need for routines. So how do you set routines in your daily life to protect your rest and your rejuvenation? That may mean starting in the morning with a particular workout, or a yoga, or a prayer, or a meditation. It may mean at midday taking a walk. There's tons of different opportunities and ways that you can set routine in your life, but it is important to, one, set the routine and to write it down. A lot of us are using our electronic calendars or our paper agendas, but it is important to write it down and have some accountability there when you're setting up your daily routine and then your weekly routine around self-care. That may mean scheduling in when you are going to walk, scheduling in when you are going to meditate. That's especially important for those of us that are entrepreneurs because life just comes at us. There's always a task that's coming. So it's really important that we set up those routines. Making sure that we have sensory plans. Our brain and our wellness and body is connected in one. And so what we absorb in our senses, what we hear, what we see, what we taste, what we smell, what we touch and feel, all connects to our brain and then subsequently to our amygdala. And so that's where our feelings are connected. So it's important that you're paying attention to what you are absorbing through your senses. Have a sensory plan. Burning your candles, that's connected to your sense of smell. What you're watching on TV or videos that you're watching, that's connected to your sense of sight. how you put on your oil, simple things of how you put on your coconut oil and your shea butter, the ease that you take with yourself connects to your nervous system. And with that connection to your nervous system, it highlights elements of your brain, which calms you down as well. So making sure you sit down, everything I'm asking is for you to sit down and actually plan, but for you to sit down and think about all of your 5 senses and how you can actually activate and elevate your senses through a matter of self-care. Also acknowledging where you may have challenges in moving forward with these plans. What could potentially get in the way of you accomplishing your daily plan around self-care or your weekly plan? And as you sit and also think about the obstacles, you can also think about solutions. And as entrepreneurs, we are always aware of the fact that we have these entrepreneurs. We have these ideas. I see that I only have a minute left. So the next thing I want to say is to make sure you're paying attention to how you communicate using your 6-step communication skill process. You can Google that, and your 4-step problem solving process. When we communicate clearly and we know how to create solutions, we oftentimes feel better and are better able to take care of ourselves. Thank you to Walker Legacy and Goldman Sachs for allowing me to come here today and to present a couple tips to you all for this self-care month. And make sure you reach out to us at Onyx Therapy Group as well.
Thank you, Dr. Plummer. And now we'll have Elle Davis.
Hi there, everyone. Thank you so much. So my name is Elle Davis. I am the CEO of the Elevate Group and the author of upcoming book, The Art of the Bounce Back, 31 Days of Resilient Living. And so I really come to this place from a unique perspective. 7 years ago, I unexpectedly lost my husband, and that was a total different type of self-care and mental health that I had to deal with when it came to work, right? And at the same time, I had a toddler child at the time who was just 2 years old. And so when we think about that, it was, I still had to get back into the work world. I still had to make sure that I was taking care of myself as well as my daughter. And how did that play when it came to work? How was I able to do all of those things? And so what happened is I became very intentional about my resilience and what that looked like. And so I implemented strategies like being, very intentional about my community and who I surrounded myself with. And so every Tuesday I had friends that hosted a dinner for my daughter and I to come over. And so you say, how does that play into your work, your life, and bringing it all together? Well, without that community, remember, my husband was here with me every day. So I had someone to talk to, I had someone to bounce ideas off with. And when he was no longer here, I still needed that support. And so I think oftentimes we forget how trauma truly impacts us and impacts our day-to-day work and what that means and what that looks like. And even recently, like I'm sitting here right now and I have a torn ACL that just happened not too long ago. And you all, for the first 3 weeks of my torn ACL, I sat on my couch and I became one day, like literally, it was a very depressive state. I stayed in the bed all day. I did not talk to anyone. I did not eat. I could not think, right? I could not think about what it is that I needed to do. And so I had to use my own resilience principles because, remind you, I wrote a book about it, right? So I had to use my own resilience principles and talk to myself about what that meant and what it looked like. So I had to be very intentional about getting in the shower and talking to myself about it. So I like to employ a mindset, choosing mindsets to get through the day. And that is very important. And I always try to employ a very growth mindset and be very optimistic about the circumstances that I'm facing. And so that's always very important. Another thing that I often do, and I think that we have to spend some intentional time with each other, is about journaling. And that can be written journals or video journals, and being okay sharing some of that. So we were asked the question, how comfortable are we talking about our mental health and well-being? I tell everybody that I was in therapy 3 weeks after my husband passed because it's important for people to know that is how I got through this. I didn't do it on my own. I did it from lots of different ways. And so I think if we create spaces of opportunity for women to connect and talk through these things, they're able to do that. And like my own selfish desire is to have resilience conversations at tables all over the world so that people can truly understand and know what it means to be resilient and for them to figure it out, because I don't know that I knew what resilience was before my husband passed. I didn't talk about that in college. I didn't talk about that as a 20-something-year-old woman, but as a 36-year-old widow with a 2-year-old child, I had to quickly understand what resilience meant and what it was. So I thank you for the opportunity. I thank Goldman Sachs. I thank Walker's Legacy, specifically Dawn Callahan. Thank you so much for making sure that I knew about this event. And I appreciate the opportunity, and be on the lookout. The Art of the Bounce Back, 31 Days of Resilient Living. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Davis. We certainly appreciate both yours and Ms. Dr. Plummer's responses. A few responses that have been in the chat. Joy Marsh, help to dismantle structural barriers for traditional and cultural mental and behavioral health practitioners, those not licensed in a Western sense, to secure licensure and/or be validated as critical practices within our community. Another response from the chat. Levon, ensure it's a resource for their employees and their family members as wellness starts at home, specifically monthly activities on site and outside the company, which could include partnering with wellness doctors and coaches or other organizations. Ladies, we certainly appreciate all of your responses. And now we will spotlight and highlight Eris Scales.
Fantastic. Oh my goodness. Can you hear me? All right, I'm back. Oh, this was absolutely, I don't know. Honestly, I don't even have words. I don't even want to start with the whole, this has been absolutely great. Like, let me just step back a moment and process what I just experienced and what we pulled off. This has been powerful. This has been authentic. This has been real. And this has been very informative. This was, for me, a whole experience. Not where we got to just show up and hear, and not where we got to just show up and share, but I hope you all were able to feel, to really feel these personal stories, to feel the tips and the recommendations that were given to us, to feel the amazing practices of Dr. Hilton, and all the work that this team put into making sure that we had this time and this experience together. I know many have been reaching out asking, what's next? When does funding get released? How can we apply? We want to continue to encourage you to go to the 1 Million Black Women's website. We've been sharing all of the links here in the chat, but I also want to rest assured to each of you that we will be turning over all of the chat feedback and those transcripts directly to Goldman Sachs. And so while you may say, I didn't get to talk, I didn't get spotlighted, it's okay. We hear you, we recognize you. We will be sharing this, and not just with Goldman Sachs, but we have members of our program team here. We have members of our communications team here. We'll be sharing it and applying it to the work that we do at Walker's Legacy. In fact, we actually have just taken the time to step back and really reevaluate our curriculum for our business training accelerators to make sure that we're infusing many of these recommendations that you guys have already shared. So it's actually reaffirming that we are on the right path and moving down the right direction. Again, I want to thank Nina. I want to thank Tolu. I want to thank Dr. Hilton. I want to thank our wonderful speakers, Elle and Dr. Plummer, for sharing their personal stories, and to continue to encourage you ladies along your path of entrepreneurship. We have several additional opportunities for you to continue to connect with us around this work and our broader work at Walker's Legacy. We will be doing another listening session on December 7th. That one will be grounded and focused around technology. I'm going to be very interested to see what Cocoa Bee Productions who can pull off to make us feel technology on that day. So I don't know. Y'all better come back and see what we pull off there. But we will have another listening session because we know that technology is another issue that continues to be a barrier. But we see many opportunities to support Black women in that space. So again, I want to encourage you to follow Walker's Legacy. I thank the entire team. I thank Goldman Sachs, and just another shout out to Cocoa Bee Productions for all that they've done to make sure that we have a successful event. And with that, I turn it back over.
And now, Dr. Hilton will guide us in a meditation session.
Woo! This has been a phenomenal experience. I get what you say. It's not just, oh, it was wonderful. This was phenomenal. And I hope that you are all feeling the power and the inspiration that we've just been given. It has poured into us. And what we know now is that we have to begin to do more to protect our hearts and our minds, create those barriers so that people will understand that our boundaries are real. And guess what else? We have to begin to activate our thinking and our thoughts to manifest this awakening. This last meditation that I want to share with you is about manifesting wellness and our heart's deepest desires with our thoughts. And this is a scientific concept that light is faster than sound, and thought is faster than light. And if we integrate thought, light, and sound together, it equals instant manifest. So I'm encourage you to create an intention for wellness, an intention for manifesting your heart's desires, and sit comfortably again, wherever you are, in a chair, sitting on the floor with your legs crossed, or lying on the floor, whatever it is that makes you comfortable. Find yourself there and know that there is nothing to do, nowhere to go, nothing to think about in this moment except for you, caring for you. And I invite you to gently close your eyes. As we go through this process of manifesting with our thoughts in the light of positive energy, take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. All stress, all tension, all anxiety are gone. Deep breath in, filling your lungs with air, and exhale gently. And now, bring your awareness to the center of your forehead and bring to your mind the intention that you have formulated. And just see that intention in its fullest completion. See the details of that vision, the colors, the textures, the people, the location, whatever energy that intention brings to you. Allow it to visualize clearly in your mind's eye. Now start with the feeling of the emotion of how it would be in your feeling world. Visualize the success and embrace the emotion of that success in advance. See it as if it has already occurred. Wholeness in health, wholeness in wealth, wholeness in business intentions. Embody that emotion. Feel the joy of that intention. Release the need to know how, and just focus and tune your mind into the actual outcome. Create an image of that outcome of completion in your mind's eye. Take your time. See the details. Feel the satisfaction of joy. The universe is mental, and all is in the mind. Create it in your mind. Trust it and believe it without an ounce of doubt, and it will manifest. Let go, letting go, letting go. Feeling the joy of completion and bask in the depths of deep peace. And now, gently begin to move your fingers and your toes, and stretching your neck to the left, very gently, very slowly, and then to the right, and then rotate your head around to the left. Inhale up. Exhale down, and rotate to the right. Inhale up, exhale down, and gently bring your head upright. Allow your shoulders to droop. And when you are ready, slowly open the eyes. Namaste.
Thank you all for joining. Have a wonderful afternoon, ladies. We appreciate you. Bye-bye.